much indeed, Cathaoirleach, and thank you very much to the Senators and Senator Éireann for bringing this bill forward. And as has been stated, the Government are not opposing it. But I suppose when we go back and look at the circular that was brought out back in 2018, where in the Action Plan for Education they were looking for increased capitation fees. And I know that for 2019 that there's going to be an extra 5% capitation fee for schools, both primary and secondary. And also in the circular, in the Action Plan for Education, there was also something that the Minister was very conscious about, and that was the, I suppose, the increasing cost of uniforms, and where it was circulated to all schools and parents' associations that, where possible, that school uniforms that it can be often bought in not uniform shops, but in other shops where they can buy a regular uniform and get the crest put on. So there has been many measures, I suppose, suggested by the Minister and the Department in terms of keeping down fees. I'm not sure about Dublin, and obviously listening to the Senators, there seems to be an issue in Dublin in schools maybe looking for or in, demanding voluntary contributions. But I know in my own case I'm involved in a few schools, and certainly we have students coming in that certainly their families could not afford to pay voluntary contributions, and they have never been found wanting or left behind in terms of the school tour, or in terms of getting school books, or in terms of uniform. And I think this is most important, that there is inclusivity and that everybody is included. And certainly we have many students that come from backgrounds where they couldn't afford to to go out and pay the full amount for a uniform or for the school books, or to go on the school tour. And even I saw recently where there was a trip that the school went on, and there was a student who couldn't afford to go on it, and the fees were covered by, I'm not sure if it's the Parents' Association at the school. So I think that there is a lot of things happening really behind the scenes where students are being supported who cannot afford to pay any fees. And certainly I know that that we'll say back in 2017 as well, the bill that was brought out by the Department prohibits any looking for fees. From my experience, an awful lot of the voluntary contributions, it comes from maybe the Parents' Association, where people have the option of being in it. But I have to say from my own experience that I haven't found pressure being put on families to contribute, and that's really important. Also, I know that the Minister as well and the Department have brought out the Parent and Charter scheme, which I know has been drafted currently, and I think that this is very important, where parents will have an input into the running of the school and what is happening in the school. And certainly I know from speaking to parents and working with them that they do feel that their views are being listened to, and that it's very important that they will have accountability as to how the school is being run and how the money is being spent. So I think that is really important. I suppose all of us want to see fairness for everybody, and I think that this is what really the kernel of what the bill that's been put here before us today. I know from speaking to the Minister that that's what he wants to see, and he certainly wants to work with the schools, he wants to work with the parents, and to keep down these prohibitive costs, because as we know, the costs of everything are going up and up. So I do think that it's very important that people, that everybody be included and everybody be treated the same. And I think that that is really what the sentiments of what this bill is about. To commend the Senators involved in bringing this forward, and I know that the Minister is willing to work with everybody concerned to make sure that there is fairness for everybody. But I do think that it's important as well that if a student or a family cannot afford to contribute, that they should not be singled out. And in my experience, this is what I have seen, is that they are included and that nobody knows about it. And I think that that is really important. And I think this is the message that we need to send out. But we also need to make sure that the costs are kept down in terms of uniform, in terms of book rental. And actually in Limerick, where I come from, we have a very good charity called the Gateway to Education, and it was set up by a volunteer, and they have third level students coming in giving grinds, and a lot of these are done on a voluntary basis. They also have, you can go in and buy your school uniform for €2 and €3. And you know, what they're encouraging is people, especially when their children are in Leaving Cert year, that they would hand in their uniforms, and people do this on a voluntary basis. And they also have up-to-date education books as well, right across the different subjects, and people can actually buy them. And in some cases, if they can't afford them, they're actually given them for free. So there is a lot of services out there, but I do agree that there is, in some places, that people are put under pressure, but nobody should feel under pressure. And I think this is what we're out to achieve with this today. So just to say that, you know, we support the sentiments of what Senator Éireann has brought forward, and to commend him. Thank you.
Thanks.